Hello, welcome to this very quick demo of our ICaiBus message routing system alpha demo that was funded by a grant from the Definity Foundation. Pan Industrial is looking at the nexus of Web3 and AI and is building a set of enterprise tools that onboard enterprise onto Web3. One of the essential things that we've needed to fulfill our vision was an enterprise bus style system for the internet computer. Typically, you can send messages from one canister to another in the internet computer, and you can reply back. But this is typically a one-to-one relationship, and each canister needs to at least know about the other canister. We fixed this by putting in a bus system that allows one canister to distribute messages to many other canisters across subnets with optimized communication and reduced message flows. In our demo, we're going to listen to the ICP ledger and we're going to have a number of canisters that react to it. When we start up our demo, a number of things happen. We have an orchestrator that sort of runs everything. We fire up a watcher canister and it registers that it's going to make a publication about each ICP transaction. We also have a number of subscribers. One is a splitter and two whitelist canisters. They'll register as subscribers to that particular event stream. The orchestrator will then assign the broadcasters to listen and be relays for these different events. Once the watcher starts reading the stream, every ICP transaction will get sent to a broadcaster. That broadcaster, based off what the orchestrator has told it, will decide if it should relay those messages to any other subnets, or if it should distribute that message based off of the subscription, which can have a filter, to any other listeners. So if you're only interested in one address, the broadcaster will make sure that it only goes to your particular canister that is listening. If it needs to go to another subnet, it will relay to a relayer. Finally, once everybody's gotten the message, the subscribers will respond back and confirm that they received the message to the broadcaster, and the broadcaster can settle up and pay those cycles back to the event publisher, which allows for the instant monetization of your dApps data streams. In our alpha, we are just publishing the ICP data stream, and we've set up a very simple example where we have a whitelist that uses the ICRC 75 standard. So we are using here ICDev's ICRC 75 list manager browser. And we're going to look at this whitelist demo 1. And we see that there is a namespace here that has a set of members. And if we look at this, we'll see that there are currently 3 members of the alpha test list. And then there are a number of others that show the individual items, and these lists track each contribution for each member. And you can see there's a corresponding list for each member up here. What we want to do here to activate our whitelist system is send some ICP to this address. We will send a small amount of ICP to the address. Let's do 0.001. We're going to wait just a minute. It may take up to a minute, but I should see my address here. If I search for that. So while we're waiting for that, we'll talk about the next feature that we added, which was to split ICP. So we built a splitter canister as well. So what's going to happen there is when we send ICP to another address, anyone who's on this list will get an even share of that. There we go. My address here has now appeared here as another one, and I have my own list where I can see all my contributions, and we see that I donated 100,000 E8s. So now we will go and see if we can't distribute some ICP across that. So if I look at this account here, you can see that there's this ICP account, which is my splitter's address. And I am going to send it some ICP from another window. I'm going to send 0.002 ICP to this FD address. All right, that send is a success, and we should soon see that transaction show up here, right there. And now what's happening behind the scenes is our broadcaster knows that the splitter wants to know about that address. And so it will notify just the splitter of that particular item, and it will it will pull the whitelist and then send 4 transactions, I hope, to to those transactions. So there we go. It sent 1, and it has to send them individually because there's no batch API there, but we should eventually see 4 of these. There we go. So the code to create one of these is very simple with the components that we built. The whitelister, you're really just writing this code here. You'll create a subscription when you initialize your canister. You tell it what namespace you want. If there's any sort of configuration like a filter, here we're filtering on the to address. Who controls that subscription and can make changes to it. And then there's a listener that you assign. So here we have an async listener that will take in the event. It will pull the features out of the event. If the amount is greater than the fee, it will create a new list for the alpha tester and will eventually add the person to the list. And that's all the code you have to write to respond to internet computer events using our system.